Hi, it's me again, and you brilliant people out there, you send me loads of great stuff that you find on the internet. I'm sorry I can't reply to all of you individually. I get thousands of emails a week from doing this. But there was one I found the other day, been sent to me a couple of times. It was a clip from BBC Breakfast, and I thought we could have a little look at it together. And I can't just show it straight, I've got to talk over it, that way it becomes fair use for copyright. Okay, have a look at this with me. I'll put my stupid headphones in. Let's have a look.
Amazon is introducing adverts to its Prime Video streaming service from today. Quite a big change.
It is. Customers in the UK and Germany will be able to see limited ads, but you can pay to have them removed.
Peter is here to explain. Morning, Peter.
Good morning. Yeah, that's the question, is it? Will people want to pay, given all of the increased costs? Even more, yes. Given all of the other increased costs we're facing at the moment. That's the gamble.
The fucking brass neck of them already, though. Saying, well, will people want to pay with all the increased costs? No, people don't want to pay you. This is going to lower their costs on Amazon because they'll watch some ads and pay less for the service. The same as what Netflix are doing, the same as what Discovery Plus are doing, the same as what all the streaming services are now moving to. A lower tier option, which means you pay less, but you just have to sit through some ads. The brass fucking neck of the BBC judging that. You show some fucking ads and then you won't have to pay $169.50 a year. Anyway.
Despite the increasing cost of living, we do still love a streaming service. But when they first hit the market, of course, part of the appeal was being able to watch programmes uninterrupted, unlike on so-called normal telly. But from today, if you're still making your way through the Lord of the Rings series on Amazon Prime Video, or you want to see what all the Saltburn fuss is about, well, you'll have to pay another $2.99 a month. So the question is, we've all got one of these. Is it worth switching over to see if there's something else on?
I can't help but notice that he's not showing the BBC iPlayer there, which is free to access if you pay your licence fee, with no ads apparently. Unless, you know, he's talking about conventional TV with the ads and everything breaking up. The BBC's no better. Just because the BBC doesn't show adverts, they still have idents. They still have like a 3-minute ident and clips and trailers and advertising their own stuff between shows. It'd be no different. No different than showing ads, but let's see where this goes.
Us and Netflix, they've both introduced cheaper memberships with, you guessed it, adverts. So why are they all doing this? Well, let's switch back to Amazon. It's going a bit quicker. Now, they say this is all about letting them invest in compelling content. That means making telly and movies to you.
When are you going to start making compelling content, BBC? Maybe show some ads. Maybe take a lesson from this. He's talking about Amazon doing it to help them continue to invest in compelling content. Try some of that yourself, the BBC. Amazon's doing it. Netflix is doing it. Disney Plus is doing it. Discovery Plus is doing it. And maybe there's a lesson to be learnt here for the BBC. They won't learn it. They don't learn lessons, do they? They're not capable.
Unsurprisingly, the advertising industry, they're pretty happy about these changes. They essentially are saying, look, ads mean customers can now watch programmes they might otherwise not be able to afford if they had to pay for the premium versions. But is that true?
I was reading reports the other day and I talked about them on here. Hang on, let me switch this over. And we talked about them on here, about advertising, and there's a reason the BBC can't do advertising. And it's because it would flood the market and it would damage other outlets, other media outlets, other broadcasters and the streaming services, because everyone would just want to advertise with the BBC and the BBC alone, and it would take market share for advertising away from others. Amazon, Netflix, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus are all much bigger players than the BBC. Nothing. There's no comment on them saturating the advertising market. There's a reason for it. It's because there's enough advertising to go around. If you've watched broadcast TV and you see an ad on 3, that ad's not just on 3, is it? It's on all the other channels as well. There is more than enough advertising to go around. So I'll try and find that report and I'll put a link in the description below. But they were adamant that the BBC can't go commercial because it would completely knacker the commercial advertising market for all the other broadcasters in the UK. No one cares when it's Amazon or Netflix, much bigger players than the BBC will ever be. Set me off a bit, this one, and it's because I don't watch a lot of BBC Breakfast, you know. It's because just seeing the BBC just annoys me. Sodding earphones.
course, lots of us love the ads. A little break to make a cup. I'd love to hear from you on this one. Get in touch in all the usual ways. Details on the screen now. Don't forget to give us your name. And it's not just TV services, is it, John and Sally? You know, music streaming services,
Yes.
they've gone this way as well. And I think the real question is, as we were saying at the beginning, the increasing cost of living. It is a bit of a gamble for these companies, whether people will want to pay that extra.
It's just the fucking brass neck of these people saying, with the increased costs of everything, do you think people are going to pay it? How about people save £169.50 a year by not giving you lot any bloody money? That's the ridiculous scam in all of this. Amazon charging $2.99 to remove ads. That's just Amazon being Amazon, isn't it? But my Discovery Plus, the only one I've got at the minute, it's $3.99 a month, and I get a few ads. It's a bit of a piss take. You have to pay and get the ads. But if I didn't, it'd be like $6.99, $10.99, whatever a month. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Plus, I use an ad blocker. It's just the brass neck of these people. So yeah, the BBC showing adverts is an interesting debate. I failed to see how they're getting away with not doing it. ITV, you know, it's a bit of a smaller network, don't have the radio and all of that, but their advertising revenue brings in about the same amount of money that the BBC gets from licence fees. So there is no longer an argument for having the licence fee. Let's not forget that the BBC has many commercial wings. BBC Studios, BBC Productions Limited, BBC Distribution. There's quite a few. I could go on a while. But the main one to think about is BBC Productions Limited, or BBC Studios even as well. BBC Studios owns 100% of UK TV, which is Dave Gold and all that. They show ads on the BBC shows that you long since paid for with your licence fee. BBC Studios owns 100% of BritBox International, which is a streaming service. They charge a subscription. But the BBC want £169.50 a year off every household in the UK in order for you to watch Coronation Street on a completely different channel. How's that work?